Let's talk about the telecom sector now. Bharti, of course, has reported a good set of numbers. What next for the stock? Gaurav Malhotra is Executive Director at Axis Capital. He's with us now. Gaurav, good morning. Prashant here. What stood out to you in the Bharti numbers, Gaurav, and what does the stock do from here?
In terms of the results were broadly in line with estimates, right? It was a very steady quarter. We saw some flattish ARPU, but that was more on account of lesser number of days, adjusted for which the ARPU would have gone up by like 2% quarter on quarter, which essentially tells you that there is premiumization, which is an ongoing trend which continues, right? Margins were also for the mobile business are going at a steady clip, right? So the EBITDA to revenue sort of transmission is almost 80-85%, which is very healthy. Capex on the full year was lesser versus last year, which was expected. So the India mobile capex was only 75% of the full year capex of FY24. So on the whole, that also helps you generate reasonably healthy free cash flows. The company has obviously doubled its dividend this year to 16 rupees versus 8 of last year. We would have liked it to be a little bit more, right? Because to put things in perspective, this 16 rupees is almost say 20% of its operating free cash flow and almost 30% of its PAT. So we would have ideally liked it to be slightly more, but we'll see what the management says in the earnings call. So on the whole, a decent set of results, very, very steady kind of numbers.
Okay, and what is the stock traded? What is it pricing in, and what are prospects there?
See, the India business is not cheap, right? It is trading at around 13 times 1 year forward EBITDA. The last time the stock went beyond this was, all the way back, you'll have to go to like 2007-8, when the multiple was almost say 15-16 times. But at that time, things were different, right? The EBITDA growth was almost say 50%, 45-50%. So multiple-wise, it is trading at a premium valuation. But we do feel that while there is limited scope for the valuation to expand from here, but these multiples can sustain because of very, very predictable earnings and with strong earnings growth. And now that the company has started to slowly increase the cash return to the shareholders as well.
Okay, so then the question is, what next, and whether Gaurav, there are further triggers ahead. Now, till we get to another round of, say, price hike, I don't know if you're factoring in one this year, because we had one last year itself. What would be the next triggers for Bharti?
Yeah, see, the next trigger will have to be the hike, right? And the way to think about is that, the ARPU transmission has been very strong for the operators in the previous hike. So when we say ARPU transmission, it means how much the ARPU rose versus the tariffs. So for Bharti, it was like 98, 100%. For Jio, it was almost 90%. So we do feel that, going forward, given the transmission is very high, for operators to see a steady uptake in ARPU, they don't need to take a very high sort of tariff increase. So the last time the hike was almost to the extent of 16-17%. So maybe going forward, they will take a smaller increase, say 10-15%. But a smaller increase also means more frequent increases. So our base case today is that we expect a hike, say, in 1.5 to 2 years from the last hike. So the last hike was in June 24. So we expect it to happen somewhere between December 25 to June 26. And our ARPU assumptions are roughly around 9 to 10% CAGR over the next 3 years, premised on both tariff hikes as well as premiumization.
And I know we've discussed this earlier, but let me just ask again and put it on the table because the buzz is so strong, right? The Starlink entry. And I think everyone's saying that it's just a matter of days now before those services get officially launched and there's an all clear, unless something changes, because geopolitics can be a very, very different beast, a different animal, and there's too much going on. But as and when Starlink comes, is there any reason for shareholders of the listed universe, whether it's a Jio, whether it's a Bharti, for them to worry on the data front?
Nothing to worry at all, right? The ARPU of a Starlink, right, if you look just to a global comparison, is between, say, $25 to $30, right? Operators today, right, with all the tariff hikes, are roughly at like $4, right? So this is even, forget the mobile, even if you look at from a broadband perspective, the broadband ARPU say $7-8, right? And Starlink ARPU tariff plan will be between say 25, 30, or even $40 in some countries. The second is on the terminal cost, right? In India, the what we get at home, the routers and all, they are essentially given for free. There is a security deposit of 2,500 rupees. The terminal cost of Starlink is between 25 to 30,000 rupees. So this is going to be an extremely premium service for essentially high-speed data, which can be provided by operators both using fiber as well as FWA. So nothing to sort of worry about for the foreseeable future.
Okay. So I get it. It's maybe only, Prashant can maybe use those services exclusively, right? When you go on the private island, remote, no other form of network, then on the Starlink phone, maybe Prashant will make a call, right?
It damages the work-life balance for sure.
What did you say? I missed that.
It will damage the work-life balance. I was talking more from an access point of view, right? He can make that call. I can't. Definitely can't at those tariff levels.
I was thinking more like, trekking to Pune or something. But well, private island sounds better. Gaurav, anything else in your coverage universe which you want to sort of highlight as looking interesting?
See, from our coverage universe, we continue to like Reliance Industries, right? We feel that, that's one stock which which underperformed last year, has done well this year, but, that has enough legs, for it to sort of continue with its outperformance. Otherwise, within the telecom space, we don't like Indus. It's like sort of a neutral for us because we feel that, given the uncertainties which still remain around Vodafone Idea, that is a stock which, yes, the multiple is cheap. There could be potential dividend, but we would like to stay away from that for now.
You have coverage on Indus, Gaurav?
Yes.
And that dividend didn't come, but maybe it'll come. But what's your view? I mean, people have they were really pining for that dividend and holding on, etc. But yeah, go on.
So see, we were a little bit a candle in the wind when it came to Indus dividend, where we said that, look, given the uncertainties around Vodafone Idea, maybe the dividend may come, but not as substantially as what the street was sort of estimating. The street was estimating around 16 to 18 rupees. We thought that the company may give you a dividend, but not to that kind of an extent. Obviously, the company has now spoken about setting up of a committee, so we'll have to see where things stand at. But definitely, that was a disappointment because the market was positioning for a dividend, and now there is an uncertainty around both the timing as well as the quantum of what the dividend could be.
All right, we'll leave it there. Gaurav, good conversation. Thank you very much. And, we'll have you back when the Starlink services are launched and, talk more about that then. Well, no impact, though, in terms of incumbent players. Just, two on the opposite side of the spectrum, really.